I've already signed. Your lawyer can review it if you want.
The envelope sat between them on the kitchen island. Sandra Mitchell, 32, creative director at Hartwell Media Group, stared at the cream-colored paper. Her husband of 5 years stood across from her, hands in his pockets, posture relaxed, like he was discussing a business merger. "I've already signed," Derek said. "Your lawyer can review it if you want." She didn't touch the envelope. "What is this?" "An amendment to our marriage." His voice was measured, professional. "I want to open things up, see other people. I think it's healthier for both of us, given the circumstances." The circumstances. He meant the baby they didn't have. The one they'd been trying for 3 years to conceive. The fertility treatments. The doctor's appointments. The quiet, crushing disappointment every single month. Sandra's fingers traced the marble countertop. "You want permission to cheat. I want honesty in our relationship." Derek adjusted his watch, the Rolex she bought him for their anniversary. "This way nobody's lying. Nobody's sneaking around. Just openly betraying each other." He sighed like she was being difficult. "I've met someone. Her name is Vanessa. She's..." "I don't want to know." "You need to know. Because if you don't sign this, I'm filing for divorce anyway." He paused. "This way you keep the house, the joint accounts. Everything stays intact. You just let me have this." Sandra looked at him, really looked at him. The man she'd built a life with. The man who used to hold her when the pregnancy tests came back negative. The man who'd promised they'd figure it out together. That man was gone. She wasn't sure when he'd left. "How long have you been seeing her?" "That's not relevant." Which meant months. Maybe longer. Sandra reached for the envelope, pulled out the papers, scanned the first page. Legal jargon. Clauses about mutual consent and separate romantic relationships. A modification to their prenuptial agreement. Her prenup. The one Derek had insisted on before the wedding. The one that gave her almost nothing if they divorced. "I'll think about it," she said. Derek's jaw tightened. "I need an answer by tomorrow." "Then you'll have one tomorrow." He left without kissing her goodbye. Sit back and enjoy this revenge story. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're new here, click on the subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Sandra didn't sleep that night. She sat in the home office Derek never used, laptop open, reading the amendment over and over, looking for loopholes, escape routes, anything that would protect her. There was nothing. If she signed, he could parade his mistress around while keeping Sandra tethered to a marriage in name only. If she didn't sign, she'd walk away with the savings account she'd had before the wedding, $43,000, and nothing else. The house was in his name. The cars. Even the furniture they'd bought together. She'd been so stupid. So trusting. At 3 in the morning she called her sister Nicole. "He wants an open marriage," Sandra said when Nicole answered, voice thick with sleep. There was a pause. Then, "That bastard. He's moving someone in. If I don't agree, he's divorcing me anyway. Don't sign anything. We'll fight this." "With what money?" "His family has lawyers on retainer." Nicole was quiet for a moment. "Where are you going to go?" "I don't know." But that wasn't entirely true. Sandra had one option. One card she'd never planned to play. 3 months ago, she'd attended a marketing summit in Toronto. Sat next to a man during the keynote speech. They'd talked during the break, just casual conversation about the industry, about creative strategy, about the future of digital media. His name was William Cross. Billionaire tech mogul. CEO of Cross Tech Industries. And Derek's most bitter business rival. William had given Sandra his card. Told her if she ever wanted to leave Hartwell Media. His company was always looking for talent. She'd kept the card in her wallet. Never mentioned it to Derek. Now she pulled it out and stared at the embossed lettering. What she didn't know yet was that William Cross had been waiting for her to call. 24 hours after Derek handed her the envelope, Sandra came home to find Vanessa's suitcases in the foyer. Derek stood in the living room, arms crossed. "You didn't sign." "No." "Then you need to leave. Tonight." Sandra looked past him. A woman lounged on the couch, mid-20s blonde, wearing one of Derek's shirts like she already owned the place. Vanessa didn't even have the decency to look uncomfortable. "This is my house too," Sandra said quietly. "Not legally." Derek's voice was cold, clinical. "Check the deed. It's in my name. You have until 8 p.m. to pack your things." Vanessa smiled. Actually smiled. Sandra felt something crack inside her chest. Not her heart, that had already broken. This was something else. Something harder. Colder. "Fine," Sandra said. She went upstairs, packed a single suitcase, took her laptop, her passport, and the jewelry her grandmother had left her. Everything else could burn. On her way out, she paused in the doorway. Derek and Vanessa were already curled up together on the couch, watching TV like Sandra had never existed. "You're going to regret this," Sandra said. Derek didn't even look at her. "I doubt it." The hotel room was small and smelled faintly of bleach. Sandra sat on the bed, phone in hand, staring at William Cross's business card. It was insane. Reckless. Desperate. She dialed. He answered on the second ring. "This is William." "Mr. Cross. This is Sandra Mitchell. We met in Toronto." "I remember." His voice was warm. Interested. "How can I help you?" She'd rehearsed this. Planned what to say. But now the words felt impossible. "I need a job," she said finally. "And I need it quickly." There was a pause. Then, "Where are you?" "The Marriott downtown." "Stay there. I'll send a car in 30 minutes. "Mr. Cross." "Call me William." "And Sandra." His voice dropped, became something sharper. "I've been waiting for Derek Mitchell to make a mistake. Looks like he finally did." The line went dead. The car that arrived was a black Mercedes. The driver didn't speak. Just opened the door and waited. They drove through the city, past the business district, into an area Sandra barely recognized. Old money. Generational wealth. The car pulled up to a high-rise that looked like it cost more than Sandra's entire neighborhood. William Cross waited in the lobby. 51 years old, silver hair, tailored suit that probably cost more than her car. He looked exactly like his photos, sharp, calculating, powerful. But his smile was genuine. "Thank you for coming," he said. "I wasn't sure I should." "Walk with me." He led her to the elevator. They rode up in silence, 37 floors, until the doors opened directly into a penthouse apartment. Floor-to-ceiling windows. City lights spreading out like stars. "This is yours," William said. "For as long as you need it." Sandra stared at him. "I don't understand." "Your husband works for Hartwell Media. They've been trying to steal my clients for 2 years. Derek personally undercut 3 of my major contracts last quarter." William poured 2 glasses of scotch, handed her one. "I want revenge. And I think you do too. So this is a transaction. This is an opportunity." He sipped his drink. Derek's reputation is built on being the perfect family man, loyal husband, future father. It's why clients trust him. Why his boss keeps promoting him. Sandra's chest tightened. "He told people I was the problem. That I couldn't." She stopped. Couldn't say it out loud. "I know." William's voice was gentle. "I also know that's not true." "How could you possibly?" "Because I do my research, Sandra. Always." He set down his glass. "Here's what I'm proposing. You date me. Publicly. We go to events together. Dinners. Galas. Let the world see that you've moved on, and moved up. To humiliate Derek. To destroy him." William's eyes were cold now. Sharp. "But only if you want to. You can take the apartment, take the job offer, and never speak to me again. Or you can help me ruin the man who threw you away." Sandra looked out at the city. At the life spreading beneath her. Derek thought he'd won. Thought he'd cornered her. Broken her. He had no idea what was coming. "What's the job?" she asked. "Creative director. Crosstech Media Division. Double your current salary. Full benefits. And your own team." He paused. "I've read your portfolio. You're wasted at Hartwell. And in exchange? Be my girlfriend. In public only. Nothing more unless you want it." His voice was firm. Professional. 6 months. That's all I need. After that, you're free. Keep the job, keep the apartment, keep everything I give you. It was crazy. Manipulative. Calculated. It was perfect. When do we start? Sandra asked. William smiled. Tomorrow night. There's a charity gala. Derek will be there. If you're enjoying this story so far, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. Do you think Sandra should go through with William's plan? The dress arrived at noon the next day. Midnight blue. Designer. The kind of thing Sandra had never been able to afford on her own. The stylist arrived an hour later. Hair, makeup, jewelry. By 6 p.m., Sandra barely recognized herself. She looked powerful. Untouchable. William picked her up at 7. He wore a tuxedo like he was born in it. You look stunning, he said. I look expensive. Same thing. He offered his arm. Ready? No. But she took it anyway. The gala was held at the Grand Metropolitan, the same hotel where Sandra and Derek had gotten married. She tried not to think about that. William guided her through the crowd. People stared. Whispered. Sandra recognized some of them. Derek's colleagues, his clients, people who'd smiled at her at dinner parties and then ghosted her the moment the separation rumors started. Now they looked confused. Curious. William kept his hand on the small of her back. Protective. Possessive. There he is, William murmured. Derek stood near the bar, Vanessa clinging to his arm. He was laughing at something someone said. Completely relaxed. Then he saw Sandra. His face went white. William steered them directly toward him. Sandra's heart hammered, but she kept her expression neutral. Calm. Mitchell, William said, voice dripping with false warmth. Good to see you. Derek's jaw was clenched. Cross. I don't believe you've met my girlfriend. William's hand tightened slightly on Sandra's waist. Sandra, this is Derek Mitchell. We're competitors. Nice to meet you, Sandra said, extending her hand. Derek stared at her like she'd grown a second head. Vanessa looked between them, confused. Wait, isn't that nobody important? Derek said sharply. William laughed. Actually, Sandra's my new creative director. Just poached her from Hartwell. Best hire I've made in years. The color drained from Derek's face. You're working for him? I needed a job, Sandra said simply. You made that clear. People were watching now. Listening. Derek's reputation, his carefully constructed image, was cracking in real time. We should go, Vanessa whispered, tugging Derek's arm. But Derek couldn't move. Couldn't look away from Sandra. Enjoy your evening, William said pleasantly. Then he led Sandra away, leaving Derek standing frozen in the middle of the ballroom. As they walked, William leaned down and whispered, "That was perfect." Sandra's hands were shaking, but she was smiling. For the first time in months, she felt powerful. The next morning, Sandra's phone exploded. Texts from old friends. Calls from Derek's family. Even her own mother, asking if the photos from the gala were real. Because of course there were photos. William had made sure of that. Sandra Mitchell and William Cross. Together. Smiling. Looking like they'd been together for years. The media loved it. Tech billionaire's new romance, one headline read. Crosstech CEO steps out with mystery woman. Mystery woman. As if Sandra had never existed before last night. Derek called 17 times. She didn't answer. Finally a text came through, "We need to talk." This is insane. Sandra deleted it. 3 weeks later, William called her into his office. "I have something to show you," he said. He handed her a file. Medical records. Test results. Her name at the top. "I don't understand," Sandra said, flipping through pages. "Fertility tests. Yours. From 2 years ago." William's voice was careful. Controlled. "You're perfectly healthy, Sandra. Completely fertile." Her chest tightened. "I know. The doctors always said." "The doctors Derek chose," William interrupted. "The ones he paid." The room tilted. "What?" William pulled out another file. This one had Derek's name on it. "Your husband is infertile. Has been since a skiing accident when he was 23. Severe trauma. Permanent damage." William's eyes were hard. "He knew before he married you. Knew he could never give you children. And he let you believe it was your fault." Sandra couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. He bribed the doctors, William continued. Had them run fake tests. Tell you the problem was yours. Also he could blame me, Sandra whispered. Control me. And when you've been broken down enough, when you were isolated and desperate, he could leave you with nothing. Make you grateful for scraps. The file slipped from Sandra's hands. 5 years. 5 years of thinking she was broken, defective, unworthy, and it had all been a lie. How did you find this? She asked. I told you. I do my research. William's voice softened. I'm sorry, Sandra. I know this is. I want to destroy him. William smiled. I was hoping you'd say that. What would you do in Sandra's position? Let us know in the comments below. The plan was elegant. Surgical. William leaks Sandra's real fertility results to a medical journal. A case study about misdiagnosis and medical fraud. No names attached, but enough details that anyone looking would recognize the situation. Then he leaked Derek's records. Anonymously. Through a whistleblower website that specialized in exposing corporate corruption. The story broke on a Tuesday morning. Hartwell Media executive accused of medical fraud. Derek Mitchell allegedly falsified fertility records. Wife claims years of psychological abuse. Sandra watched from William's penthouse as Derek's life imploded in real time. His company launched an investigation. His clients pulled contracts. Vanessa, who'd apparently believed she was getting a devoted family man, left him within 48 hours. Derek's father, a prominent lawyer, released a statement disowning him. It was brutal. Complete. Exactly what he deserved. 2 months after the gala, Derek showed up at Crosstech headquarters. Security called Sandra before letting him up. Do you want us to remove him? The guard asked. Sandra looked at William, who was watching her carefully. No, she said. I'll see him. They met in a conference room, neutral territory. Derek looked terrible. Thinner. Older. Broken. You did this, he said. You did this, Sandra corrected. I just made sure people knew the truth. I'm ruined. My career, my family, everything's gone. Good. Derek flinched like she'd hit him. You spent 5 years making me believe I was worthless, Sandra said. Her voice was calm. Cold. You let me think I was broken. Defective. You watched me cry every month and you knew it was your fault. I was scared. You were cruel. She stood. And now you're paying for it. Sandra, please. Don't. She moved toward the door. You made your choice when you handed me those papers. When you moved her into our home. When you threw me away like garbage. Derek's face crumpled. I'm sorry. I don't care. And she realized standing there that it was true. She didn't care about his apologies or his regrets or his suffering. She'd moved on. Sandra opened the door. William stood in the hallway waiting. He extended his hand and she took it. They walked away together, leaving Derek alone in the empty conference room. Behind them they could hear him start to cry. Sandra didn't look back. 6 months after the gala, William took her to dinner at the restaurant where they'd first made their deal. Our contract is up, he said over dessert. Sandra had been expecting this, dreading it if she was honest. I know. You're free to leave. The apartment is yours. The job is yours. Everything I promised. He paused. Unless you want to stay. Her heart skipped. Stay. This started as revenge. But somewhere along the way, William reached across the table, took her hand. I fell in love with you, Sandra. For real. Not for show. Not for business. She stared at him. At this man who'd given her back her power. Her dignity. Her life. I love you too, she whispered. William smiled, really smiled, and kissed her hand. Then let's stop pretending. Let's make this real. 3 years later, Sandra Cross stood in the nursery of their new home, holding her 6-month-old daughter. William came up behind her, wrapped his arms around them both. She's perfect, he murmured. She is. Outside, the world had moved on. Derek Mitchell was managing a small marketing firm in another city, rebuilding his life one client at a time. Vanessa had married someone else. The scandal had faded into background noise. But Sandra remembered. She remembered every moment, every betrayal, every lesson. She'd learned that power wasn't given. It was taken. She'd learned that revenge wasn't emotional. It was strategic. And she'd learned that sometimes, the best way to heal from being broken was to rebuild yourself into something stronger. Derek had tried to destroy her. Instead, he'd created his own worst nightmare. A woman who knew exactly how dangerous underestimation could be. A woman who'd taken everything he'd thrown away and turned it into an empire. Sandra looked down at her daughter, at the life she'd built from ashes, and smiled. She'd won. If you made it to the end, let us know what you thought in the comments below. Did Sandra go too far? Or was this the perfect revenge? Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our next story.